Joining us now is CBS News chief political analyst John Dickerson. John, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Harry. I'm very well.
Good. Let's talk about Arizona first. John McCain, been there forever, the maverick of all mavericks, had to run from being a maverick to say, I am part of the Republican orthodoxy because of a Tea Party-like challenge. Talk about this a little bit.
That's right. I mean, there was a period where with John McCain, if he wasn't fighting against somebody in his own party after a few weeks, you might think something was wrong. In this race, he got a challenger, J.D. Hayworth, former congressman, backed by some of the Tea Party. McCain, as you mentioned, sort of moved away from his old positions, declared he never thought of himself as a maverick, spent a great deal of money beating up on Hayworth, and he looks like he's going to do quite well after, at one point, looking like he was really facing a tough challenge.
Yeah, $20 million he had to spend in order to do it. I'm going to move on to Alaska now, just talking about this with Lisa Murkowski, who was a protege of Ted Stevens, who just died in the plane crash here a couple of weeks ago. But she's running against this guy who is backed by Sarah Palin. This really is a Tea Party contest.
That's exactly right. And what Murkowski is doing is something similar to what McCain did, which is, recognizing this is an anti-incumbent year and working hard to protect themselves. And so the message of these two races is that if you're an incumbent and you spend the money and you work hard at it, you can survive. And it looks like she, at least according to the polls, is going to beat back this Tea Party challenge, which will be a bit of a blow to Sarah Palin.
Let's talk about Florida for a moment. And this is an interesting Democratic primary because it pits this newcomer, Jeff Green, a billionaire, former Republican, against Kendrick Meek, a congressman whose family has long, deep Democratic roots there. What's at stake?
Well, what's at stake in this case is this exciting, what's going to be a three-way race in the Florida Senate primary. And, Jeff Green had a lot of money, put a lot of money into this race, but like J.D. Hayworth in Arizona, he's a bit of a flawed candidate. So he dumped all of this money in here. The polls look like Meek is going to win. The question then is, what did Democratic voters do? Some of them like Charlie Crist, the former governor, or the current governor running for Senate. And so will they close ranks around the Democrat, Kendrick Meek, or will they go over to Governor Crist, and how will that play out in the general election for the Senate seat? Because
Crist is running as an independent, and Marco Rubio is the Republican, and there are even interesting shifts with that, as he seems to be moving more to the center and away from the right.
That's right. Rubio's strategist said as soon as it looked like Crist was going to leave the Republican Party, they said they had to both court the Tea Party but keep it also at arm's length, because in Florida, Rubio has to get votes from independents as well as Republicans.
John Dickerson, thank you very much for your expertise this morning. Do appreciate it.